time. How are you doing? I'm well. I'm really well. I'm very happy to have returned, to have finished, and to live this finish with so many people. It's a nice surprise. The last part of your race was really special. Can you tell us how it was to have to slow down to avoid the depression and then to start again? We were expecting you a little bit later, maybe on Tuesday, and actually you found a weather window so that you could slide in between two beasts. The waiting was not really pleasant. So as soon as I had a mouse hole with less wind and less sea. It was tough, but it was possible. So I decided to go on. It was the biggest storm or the biggest gale that I took during this round the world. And it's winter here, and in the south it's summer. So you have to go around the world to understand that there were big storms here also. Yeah, so it was the end of a race that was quite specific, waiting, and not much left on boat. That's what you were saying, to not much left to eat on boat. Yeah, not much food left either. So the mic is going to go around the room for journalists if they have questions. Hello, Armel. Hello, Jacques. There was Bruno Ménard with me also. He said it's the storm sail that spent the most time around the world. Yes, I think I did the around the world on a thong, yes. And I'm the only one, it's true. When I had, as soon as I had the problem on my hook for my J3, which is 2 days after the start, I hoisted the storm sail, and it stayed there the whole time. So it was my small sail in permanently, and I also sailed with it when there was 25 or 30 knots. Actually, the boat was sailing well, so it was a useful sail. And so that's why you entered the channel with it. Yes, but actually I could not furl it anymore. So there was no more system to furl it. So I had to leave it on the whole time. Could you summarize your around the world in a few words? What you felt, what you experienced? You left with a mental preparation in which you wanted to be positive and wanted to live everything in the present. It probably didn't happen exactly like you expected, but what are your feelings? Did you avoid any frustration? So actually, it's true. I had worked on this this part with my preparer during 2 years, and the idea that this round the world would only be unexpected things and that you had to face them. And luckily, I had a positive attitude, and I had worked on this because after the second day, there was already a problem. If I hadn't had this state of mind to be positive, I think it would have been really hard. So there were difficult moments, clearly, but not that many, actually. It was a lot of pleasure on the water and big intensity. And pleasure. What are the levers that you used to find every day a new motivation? Is it the remontada, the idea of coming back up, or feeling things day by day? First of all, it was the luck that I was experiencing to be on the water doing this race and be competing. And every day I was thanking my partner. I was happy to be there and to be in a regatta and to be part of the race. It was to fulfill this dream, and I didn't want to waste it. After that, I also had an exceptional boat that was well prepared, well built, and all along the race, I began to know it more and to be able to push it more in order for it to express itself. So it was a huge race with very nice moments and being able to catch up on other boats. It was pleasant and motivating also. I really enjoyed playing with weather systems, searching for trajectories. And that's what drove me. And also the fact that races are made of unexpected moments and you have to work with it. This is like life in general, and I think it has made me stronger. Hello, Armel. Congratulations. The Vendée Globe is a very long race. It's really particular to be alone on the water that long. What's your opinion on the length of this race? It's true that the length of the race is incredible because I don't think there is another race that is like this. It is unique with the length and with these different seas and landscapes, the intensity and the involvement that we put in. And sometimes it's true that sometimes during 6 or 12 hours, maybe I'm exaggerating a little bit, but you have to repair something and put the race on the side. And usually that doesn't happen on the transatlantic. You break, you stop, but it lasts only 1 or 2 hours. In this race, some stages, for some stages, the race stopped completely and I had to repair the boat and put the race aside. You also have the time during this race, because of its length, to enjoy and appreciate the universe that is around us, the wildlife, which is beautiful. So it generates some intense moments also. What images do you have in mind? Can you embark us in your round the world? What are the strongest images that you have of the Great South, of the Atlantic? Yes, it's funny because it's contradictory with what I just said, but arriving in the Bay of Biscay yesterday, there were some squalls at 50 knots and the ocean was white, and it's this brutality of nature that you can find in this type of race. And usually when you're cruising, you never have these conditions because it's too dangerous, or you don't have the correct boats, or we don't want it. But in this case, you don't have the choice and you find resources to face this. And that's a real gift. When you have a very rough sea like this, white with incredible lights, and also like in the south, but not with as much intensity. When you have this, it's really surprises you to see this. And cornering the Cape Horn was an amazing moment. I think I will never forget it. This race has really marked me. You were saying earlier during coming up the channel that you had changed. You had probably grown up through this race. Yes, I don't know who yet, but of course you don't come out unchanged from this. Fighting during 80 days with that much desire, abnegation, and involvement. It's true that yes, the impact on me is that I'm different, and it will have an influence on my future. Another question, Armel. Now you're talking about repairing things. What is the state of the boat today? How did you bring it back? The boat is almost intact. I had to reinforce a little bit in composite at the beginning of the race. But except for these problems of hooks, but that's really peripheral, the boat is intact. And I was able to navigate on it, not 100% all the time, because a race you also have to finish. So that was my objective. So sometimes I was preserving the boat. But I think it's a boat which has an enormous potential. Sam had an incredible idea. He is a genius in designing this. I think it's a big success, and being able to launch the boat in such a short period and prepare it and finish this race over 1 year, I think it's quite nice. I think we did a good job, and I think they can be proud of themselves. Armel, since you left, Donald Trump has definitively lost the American elections. That's good news. But we are confined at 6 p.m. So that's bad news. The mask was worn during 80 days. There are no more restaurants, no more cinemas. There's a curfew at 6 p.m. and we may be confined all day. Does it make you want to leave once again, but maybe this time with a family? Yes, it's true. You have this feeling of freedom that is incredible at sea. I don't know if some of you sail in the room, but I had never felt it so strongly before, because on the transatlantic races, maybe I didn't have enough time, or I wasn't mature enough. But really, I found that each moment was intense to live. And there's a real communion with nature that is really strong on a race like this, during which you are reduced to essential things, feeding yourself, pushing a boat, and having a life on a day-to-day basis. And that was rather pleasant, I have to say. And now I'm very happy to be back and to take advantage of my family, my wife, my kids, and to be able to celebrate this, maybe if we can, we'll see. Armel, to speak about your boat, because you said that Sam had a wonderful design. Do you think during this Vendée Globe, the foilers were adapted to the conditions, or at some point did you think that it was really, your boat was really expressing itself at 100% and that it was the adequate boat to do this Vendée Globe? I think a Vendée Globe is a race where you do 80% of reaching. So it's true that this boat is really suitable for this race. It is not as adapted to do a close-hauled transatlantic. Probably I don't advise it. But on this part of the game where we are pushed by the wind and the sea, the boat is really adapted. It is a boat that is really comfortable to live on. And I got along very well with it. We were good friends. And we made it together. I finished, and the boat is rather intact, although sometimes the conditions were really rough on it also. Yes, we saw that foilers can take the lead and create a gap in very good conditions. And so it's also just wonderful to be above the water and to reach these speeds. I don't think we can go back. Yes, because finally the racing time of the first were quite slow. And the foils, even handicapped the first two ones. They haven't showed a real difference on this round the world. Yes, there was a lot of reaching conditions on VMG. So the foils is not as successful in these conditions, but it can evolve. The class rules will probably change. The weather also dictated the race. So there's no reason to reconsider long foils and that type of boat, because some competitors criticize this a little bit, like Jean Le Cam. Yes, maybe Jean, it's not his story either. He wants to defend his philosophy. But I don't think there will be any movement of going back on this. So what makes you the most proud of on this Vendée Globe? As I said, just finishing. To have accomplished my mission. And I think, yes, it was a real challenge to finish this race in such little time, to take the start and to finish the loop. I was surprised to see the level of involvement on this race. I feel it and everybody has felt it. It's really beautiful to have every day the radio interviews that my team was transferring to me, so I could see the state of mind of each competitor and the problems they had, and realize how each skipper had issues and went all the way. And that's what's wonderful about this race. And each one tries to push to the maximum and finish. And to see a few women fighting with us. I communicated with Clarisse during a period we were close together, and I think it's amazing. Armel, you spoke a lot of your boat that is adequate for this race. Would you be ready to leave again in 4 years with the same boat and a little bit with more preparation in order to be on the podium? Oh yes, that's sure. Now I have a good vision of what you need and what you must do to take the start with a 100% level of preparation. Yes, we lacked a little bit of time, but it's a real project, a real competitive project. And to do it in 4 years, it would please me, yes. And with the same boat, yeah, sure. Okay, no more questions. So we're going to leave Armel, who's going to have his breakfast. And another comment. It's a saying of Aristotle, who said there were 3 types of people in the world: the dead, the living ones, and the ones who go on the water. So you are part of these, the ones who go on the water. And thank you for having shared this with us. Thank you very much.